Welcome back, everybody. I realized that it's been a while since I've recorded a video about my Royal Enfield, and it's now June 16th, 2021. So it's been over a year since I uploaded any video. I wanted to take a moment to talk about the things I love and the things I hate about my Royal Enfield Classic 500. Um, I'll um, I'll try to be as honest as possible. All right. So first things first, the things that I absolutely love about my Royal Enfield. As you can see, she's standing right behind me. I've owned the bike for about, well, I think close to 3 years now. Let's take a closer look. All right. I've owned the bike for about, I think two or 3 years now. When did I get it? I'm not sure. But when I bought it, it had 3,500 kilometers on the odometer, and right now it has 15,500. That means that I put a little over 12,000 kilometers on there since I bought it. As you can see, I'm not in Dubai. I'm actually in the Netherlands, and I moved here last year, end of May, from the United Arab Emirates. I have another motorcycle there. It's my Moto Guzzi V7. Beautiful machine, 750 cc's. This is my daily ride. All right, back to the Enfield. So, the things that I absolutely love about my Royal Enfield is just the fact that it's so easily accessible. All the controls, when you sit on it, you feel like you're in control of the machine. Everything is so close by. It's just super easy to ride. I mean, it is motorcycle riding in its most simple form. So let me go back and take a seat. So it's motorcycle riding in its simplest form, which I absolutely love. I also love the fact that it is a very simple motorcycle to ride and to work on. Compared to other motorcycles I've owned, you have to work hard on the Royal Enfield to actually ride it. I mean, the frame isn't as rigid as any modern motorcycle. There are the vibrations, there are the shakiness, there are I'll talk about the negatives in a moment. Well, the things I absolutely love is it's just the sound, the way it feels, the way it smells. I fell in love with Royal Enfield a couple of years ago when I went on a trip to India with a few friends, and we rode from Mumbai to Goa on Bullet 500s, and they were terrible machines, but I absolutely loved it. And when I got back to Dubai, I decided to find a Bullet or a Classic 500 myself. So before that, I had no weak spot for Royal Enfield. All of that changed once I came back from my visit. So it's a big thing. I did a few modifications on my Royal Enfield, as you can see. I'm gonna try to list a few things from the top of my head. There's the crash guard. Okay, so there's the leg guard, as they call it in India. There's the spotlight. Whoops. There's the spotlight, small unit, bait style. There's the bash plate, aluminium Royal Enfield original bash plate. I have the pannier rack with the soft panniers, also Royal Enfield original equipment. Yeah, they're actually pretty decent. I should do a separate review on these. They are not waterproof, but they are water repellent, and you can make them even more water repellent by treating them with wax cotton, which I haven't done yet, but I'm super happy with that. There's this rear Royal Enfield original carrier, which I'm super happy with. And there's the Royal Enfield original heel toe shifter. Now, there are some other mods that I've done that are not original Royal Enfield parts. For instance, I have these handlebar grips. They're a bit fatter than the original ones. I really like them. I think these are made by a company called Buildwell. There's the imitation X RAM mount phone holder with charger. I definitely don't like that one, but it's super functional. You may have noticed that the handlebar is slightly different. It's a bit taller. It's actually an original Bullet 500 handlebar that I put on the Classic 500, and I did that for the fact that it made it a little bit easier handling the bike off-road. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who takes a Royal Enfield Classic 500 off-road? Many people do, as it turned out. I don't know if you've heard of Rider Mania in India. I think anybody in India who owns a Royal Enfield will tell you that they will go off-road. They are known as mountain goats. People have taken them to the Himalayas and beyond. So yeah, you can go off-road. But the things that help with the off-road ability, obviously, are also the knobbly tires. These are Shinko E804 on the front and E805 at the back. Size is, I think it's what was it, 110 by 80 by 19 inch at the front, and at the rear 120 by 90 by 18. So if you can see it, 110, okay. And at the rear, these are really chunky tires. They're super sticky. I ride them hard. They're confidence inspiring. I can't see the size in the back, but I'll add them to the description. Now, in order for these to work and to fit, I had to do something with the suspension because the tires were rubbing against the fender. So what I did was I mounted taller shocks at the rear. That helped a lot. It gave it that much bit more clearance, and it also raised the bike a little bit more. Combination of these tires, combination of the tires with the taller suspension actually means that the bike got about, I think, about 2 centimeters taller than stock, if not a bit more. In order for those tires to work at the front as well, I fitted a special front mudguard, original Royal Enfield part, meant for the European models with ABS, because they have a little indent here which allow the tires to fit at the front. So yeah, that works really well. Which brings me to the performance bits on this motorcycle. Now, my Classic 500 has a few performance upgrades. I'll start with the ones that you can actually see from the outside. We have the Hitchcock Performance header, which has a rounder bend and no catalytic converter, and we have the Gursevac Indori rear muffler. I'm not so happy about the Gursevac muffler. It sounds great, it looked phenomenal, but corrosion is a fact of life which I can't get rid of, and the bracket here recently broke. I lost a few bolts of the end cap. The fit and finish isn't so great. It doesn't fit tightly on the header, so I'm not super happy with it, but it did the job, right? I was quite pleased with that. Another few of the mods that I've done are inside the engine. You've seen my previous videos. Basic performance kit, the full package, right? So the valves, valve springs, what did I have? Push rods, yeah, lighter push rods. What else? Cams, sharper cams, racing cams they call them, I don't know. I put a 535 forged piston in and a larger bore cylinder, and yeah, and the Power Commander 5, which has been tuned for this specific motorcycle. And believe me, the bike goes like stink. Used to go like stink. I'll get to that in a moment. K&N air filter, obviously, and I think those are about the mods that I've done. Overall, I was super happy with my motorcycle. Yeah, there are things that you know, bolts that got undone. There's engine head stay that broke off. I'll show you. So this bit here, this metal piece, it's not original, right? This is a reinforced one, and the original one broke off a few times, and I replaced it with an upgraded version, a thicker steel one. The brackets that hold the horns, both of them broke off. I've replaced those or fixed those in one way or another. So those are the things that I wasn't super duper happy about. Other things that I'm not happy about is these I don't know what you call them, these boxes. They don't close tightly, they don't fit tightly. There's a gap here. I'm not so happy with that. And those are just a few things. Yeah, but you know what, I've changed a few ones in the injector and the throttle body. Once, you know what, I'm getting down to the things that I don't like. It's a terrible bike in terms of reliability, honestly. After every ride something happens, and if you're not handy yourself, or if you don't have access to a mechanic or somebody who is very handy, you're gonna spend a lot of money. Now luckily enough, I have two right hands, meaning I know what I'm doing when I'm working on a motorcycle, so I feel confident enough to actually work on this beautiful machine. And I guess I could say that I have a love-hate relationship with my Royal Enfield Classic 500. I really do. Things I hate about it, you know, sometimes you hear noises that are there one moment and then they are not there another moment. Don't know why. The paint that was used on this motorcycle, I have an Indian spec bike, so it's not really a fair comparison with European spec bikes. I feel that the paint could have been of a thicker, it could have been a bit thicker, right? It just chips off so easily. Having said that, with this matte green, I have a spray can in matte green, and you just clean it off, apply some, and you know, scratch is gone. So it's quite an easy fix for me with this one. Yeah, so the vibrations aren't even that bad. I really like the vibrations on this bike. So what I want to say is that the Classic 500, the Indian spec that I have, it sometimes needs a little bit of TLC. Now, there is one disclaimer. I probably don't ride it the way Royal Enfield wanted me to ride it. Okay, I'm gonna be perfectly clear about that. I ride my Enfield hard. Okay, full stop. I don't ride it very gently. I throttle, I open up the throttle and I go. Look, I'm not an idiot, so I do warm up the engine. I do take care of the engine oil. I change the engine oil more often than the manual prescribes. I think the manual says every 6,000 kilometers. I think I've changed the oil at least every 3,500 kilometers so far. So I did 5 oil jobs, so of oil changes so far, more or less. And that's okay. I put high quality engine oil in it. I use full synthetic. I don't know if full synthetic is better though. All right, maybe I'm wrong. If you have any other ideas, you know, let me know. Send me a message. Put it in the comments. But I've been using full synthetic, Shell or Castrol or Motul, any of these brands. Only A quality brands. Nothing that is sub A level or sub A quality. So I ride my bike hard, and as a consequence of that, the bolts come loose. All right, it happens. The things that I mentioned that break, they break because of that, because I ride it hard. So I have to say that the Royal Enfield dealers I've dealt with so far in Dubai, in India, and in the Netherlands, they've been nothing but excellent help. Really excellent. They have gone above and beyond to help me out with getting me the parts I need and sharing their expertise and know-how in order for me to get the bike on the road. So you know what, that kind of customer support I haven't experienced with any of the other brands I've ridden, honest to God. Like, I'm very pleased with that. So without further ado, I'd like to talk about the elephant in the room. You see, I wish I could start up the bike for you right now, but the fact is I can't. A couple of days ago, something bad happened. I was riding my Enfield. I was riding with a group, the Amsterdam Classic riders. We were going for our annual ride out, and on the freeway, I was doing 120, 130 kilometers an hour, easily, steadily, and sudden loss of power, and then terrible, terrible noises coming from the engine, metallic noises. I am 99% certain that the crankshaft has gone and that the piston has caused some damage in the cylinder, and I really hope that the valves are left unharmed. I'm not gonna get the bike running, but there was an issue before. Um, the crankcase gasket over there is the crankcase. The crankcase had an oil leak. I made a video about that, which I will share in a moment. Where a video where I replace the gasket with a new one and I ensure there are no more leaks. But my fear is that I've been riding that leak for far too long and I didn't notice. It's one of those leaks that you don't see it when the bike is parked, but when there's compression and you're riding and their oil pressure is up, it just, you know, splashes oil out. So in my case, I think that there was oil starvation that caused the bearings, the big end bearings, to have damage. All right. I did top up the engine oil before the ride, but I think the damage was done already. And considering all the tuning that I've done on this engine, the crank, you know, it had a really, really hard life. I'm not gonna deny that it was difficult. The crank got a beating, and I knew it was a weak spot. All right. So what that means is that I'm probably gonna need, well, definitely gonna need a new crankshaft assembly. I'm gonna need probably a new piston with piston rings, and I don't know if I can reuse the cylinder or I need to rebore it, or maybe I should get a new 500 cylinder head and then bore it to spec. I don't know. You know, I need to open up the engine and to find out. In any case, I've this is quite an extraordinary thing. Um, Royal Enfield has reached out to me and they've offered their support in any way possible. So they've contacted me with one of their dealers. I think they're called Van Doorn in Amersfoort. They have been Royal Enfield dealer for a very long time in the Netherlands. And the distributor, Moto Mundo, who's the main kahuna for Royal Enfield in the Benelux. They connected me with them and they said that if I need anything, any help, any support, if I need any parts, they will support me in any way they can, and they will make sure that I get the parts I need as quickly as possible. Which is, I mean, imagine KTM doing that. All right, yeah, you could say KTMs don't break down. That's a lie. They do break down. I've owned KTMs before. Believe me, if I told you LC4 engines, rocker arms problems, fuel pump problems, oil starvation, excuse me, pardon me, fuel starvation. Uh, yeah, you know, just do some research and you'll find out. I've also owned LC8 engined KTMs, so I've had my fair share. I love KTMs, I really do, but just so to say, all motorcycles have their own thing, and to be honest, in this case, I don't think it's Royal Enfield's fault. It's my fault, really, for the way I've been treating and riding my bike hard. So what does this mean? It means that it has become a project bike now. I need to spend some time investigating what's going on, what happened, what kind of damage there is. I just need to spend some time assessing what parts I need and what I should do to get it running again. Look, I love my Royal Enfield, I really do, and I ride it like it was intended, like for what it was designed to do, like ride it everywhere. And then on top of that, I ride it hard. So I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna upgrade the crank. I've been looking at Hitchcock Performance long stroke crank. I really like it, but the price they're asking for, it's very steep. I think it's 1,400 pounds which is about 1800 US dollars, which is a lot of money for a crank assembly, considering that the stock one costs about 350 euros, more or less, like 450 dollars at the most. So yeah, that's almost 4 or 5 times more expensive, right? So Hitchcocks, if you want to sponsor me, I'm here. I'll gladly try it. Anyways, so that's the rundown on my Royal Enfield Classic 500. I'll keep you posted. I'll do a series on the rebuild of the engine, um, the people that are involved. Oh, almost forgot to mention this. Since a year or so, I'm part of Bike Brewers. I don't know if you've heard of them. Go check it out, bikebrewers.com. What we do is we write motorcycle reviews, not just motorcycle reviews, but reviews on custom motorcycles, not choppers, but cafe racers, scramblers, Brat style bikes, that kind of stuff. And doing this as an editor allows me to be in touch with the motorcycle community in the Netherlands and beyond, in Europe actually. And this also allowed me to get to know more people that have sound motorcycle building knowledge. So I'm gonna do a series of me building this bike back together. I'm gonna give it a name once it's on the road again. I'm thinking of calling my bike the Phoenix. I don't know, once it's resurrected. If you have any ideas, let me know. Leave it in the comment section. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and you watch this series. I'll be making short clips, 5 to 10 minutes at the most, every so often. I'll be uploading them regularly, and you'll have an opportunity to ask me questions, so we can make it like an interactive video. You can ask me questions in the comment section, and I'll try to answer them in my videos next time. And I want this to be a learning process, not just for me, but also for my viewers. So hopefully all of us can enjoy the Royal Enfield for a bit longer. All right. Thank you so much. Okay.